What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Soulkeep content today. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, well, we got the launch of the game, Soulkeep, as well as the reveal of the main game rules and white paper. Now, I've been through this once, maybe twice already so far. I will say that it doesn't have a lot of the tokenomic stuff that I was hoping for, but it does break down some things with the rewards. So I figured let's just do a deep dive. I'm not going to read the entire thing to you, but I am going to cover it section by section and skip over the things that maybe are not as relevant and dive a little bit deeper into the stuff that I do believe to be relevant for us in the Soulkeep. And I am going to include Splinterlands kind of in this kind of thing. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So you got version 1.1, June 24th, 2024. This is the day before the launch. Welcome to Soulkeep. It's a tower defense game. It's built on top of the Splinterlands platform. The game will have a crossover with Splinterlands NFTs and use the same currencies, DEC credits and SPS, although it will have its own NFTs, meaning Soulkeep. So each of these NFTs, right, is going to be called a defense, tower, spell, or hero. And right now, there's only one hero. That was the promo hero that was promised to pack holders at the beginning, during the pre-sale purchase. All right, so NFT defenses, let's see, you get 5 of these in packs. I think we knew that already. There's 23 different towers and 24 different spells. Again, like I said, there's one hero right now that was a promotional item. I don't know if there will be more coming in the future, although I would be shocked if we did not ever get another hero in some form. Okay, so this goes into something that I covered in a separate video of how you can open your booster packs. Again, a lot of this stuff is integrated with the Splinterlands website, so I would recommend checking out that video. Or if you're on the white paper page, then you'll be able to link to it in these areas. So I'm going to skip over this. It does go over the potions and the rarities that you can get. Keep in mind that the potions that you use are the same potions that are part of the Splinterlands ecosystem. So, you know, you can use them for either Splinterlands or Soulkeep assets. You can see here that the rarities for drops from packs, it's 0.8% for legendary, although you can double that with a legendary potion, 4% for epics, 20% for rares, and 75.2% for common. On top of that, when opening packs, every defense has a 2% chance of turning gold foil, but you can use an alchemy potion to double that up to 4%. Now, you can combine defenses, and this is something we've been waiting for a while to get this full information, but you can combine them just like in Splinterlands. You combine cards to get higher stats, higher damage, quicker fire rates, higher range, right? So it unlocks a tech tree of abilities it can use in the game as the player upgrades it with mana. The higher level a tower is, for example, the more upgrade types it can have in a given battle. And this is something I still haven't fully explored yet. And you can also have more upgrade tiers that can be used for a given type. So we'll have to dig into that a little bit more. But rare defenses begin immediately at level 3, epics begin at level 5, and legendary begins at level 7. And you can see here just how many BCX you need across each of these. So unlike Splinterlands, which requires 400 per common, you only need 200 for commons here. 80 for rares, 28 for epics, and 10 for legendary. Gold foils will require fewer to level up, but these will also probably be a little bit more pricey and rare on the market. Not the rarity, but just actually scarce on the market. Okay, then they go through a glossary of terms here within gameplay. There's something that we know of, such as leagues. Advanced play leads to reaching higher leagues. Reaching higher leagues leads to greater rewards and share of the tournament reward pool, but also more challenging gameplay. So higher leagues generally require higher level NFTs to succeed. Now, you do get these Fiend Soul tokens, which are soulbound, that can be earned as rewards for each Fiend that you kill to be used up as you level up through the leagues. So it looks like there'll be common, rare, epic, and legendary tokens. Again, I've only played the game once for like an hour and a half, so I'm still learning a lot of this stuff myself. I will have to, we'll try to do videos if people want in terms of, diving deeper into all these things. So health points, this is pretty standard, right? This is how many fiends can break through the gates. If you ever played tower defense, mana is the amount of like currency that you have to purchase your spells and towers. Again, this is not purchase with like dollars or fiat or crypto. It's like literally in the game, you're given a certain amount of mana that you can spend on your towers and spells, and each of the towers and spells has a cost to them, right? So think to Splinterlands, right? You get a certain amount of mana that you can use in a game, and you get to pick your lineup accordingly. Heroes are units that can be dropped anywhere on the battlefield. Okay, cool. So towers, these are defenses that can be dropped in predefined spots. Spells can be dropped anywhere on the map. They can unleash on a limited basis, or let's see, they can be unleashed in battle by the player on a limited basis, leading to huge defensive or attack advantages. Some towers can only be dropped on paths. I think they meant some spells can only be dropped on paths. Others can be dropped only on towers, those that buff the tower stats. And I've already started to see some of those. Fiends, these are all the different enemies that will be attacking the player wave after wave. Fiend bosses, just bigger fiends. Path, these are the routes. Again, for anybody that's played tower defense, this should all be relatively straightforward. Again, that's why I'm going over it relatively quickly. Waves are just the different rounds that you have, and each like league or level will have a different amount of waves. So for example, you can see like this is League 2, Level 1, and Level 1 will probably have like anywhere from 5 to 6 waves in it, and you would have to survive all of them with the same amount of health given, right? So if you lose 5 health in the first wave, you don't get that back at the end of that wave, right? It's part of that level that you have to pass the entire thing. Gateway levels, the tower defense levels, tuned in sequence to play normally, similar to other premium tower defense games. The game will recommend a set of towers and spells that can be used to beat these levels. Gateway levels for a given league must be passed before the player may unlock the next league. Now, tournaments, this is where things get interesting, I think, at least from an earning perspective. But every day, each league has its own tournaments with its own randomly chosen map, fiend attack pattern, and battle rules. Players may enter the tournament of the league they are in, and higher tournaments earn an outsized share of the pool. So the first entry of a given tournament each day is free, but further tickets of the same tournament will cost an incrementally large spend of tournament tickets. So here's the thing. You know what? The first entry of a given tournament is free, but further entries of the same tournament will cost. Okay, you know, the only reason that when I was in the game, I thought that the cost of the tournament tickets would increase, but the cost of the tournament tickets stays the same. It's all 2 DEC, and that confused me for a second. But now in reading this makes sense because it's not the DEC price that will increase. It is the amount of tournament tickets. So tournament tickets are only 2 DEC or credits a pop, but the amount required to play in additional tournaments per day is going to require that. And here's where things get interesting, right? I believe there's like 10 levels or 10 leagues is what it is. And there's different reward pools, or the reward pools are split differently for each of those. So the higher you're able to get through the leagues, which is kind of like the PvE environment, the higher that you can participate in the different tournaments, which is where the rewards are. So you want to get through the game as quickly as possible and achieve a higher league status and then you'll be able to play, right? Then be able to earn more or access higher reward pools. All right, so tournaments. Every day, each league has its own tournament. Oh, we talked about tower energy. So each spell and tower has a certain amount of games it can be used for before it's taken out of commission for a while to recharge, heal, based on its fatigue time. So you can only use it X amount of times. The way that this is said, and is kind of in line with what I saw, is that I guess it doesn't recharge until you've used all of it, which kind of sucks in my opinion, because some of what I was seeing was like, it's like 5 hours to recharge or something like that. I thought it would just be like, hey, if I have 5 energy on this tower and I use 1, then in 5 hours I'll get that 5th energy back. But maybe that's not the case. We'll have to explore that a little bit more. All right, so this shows you the Soulkeep homepage. Soulkeep.splinterlands.com. League info. So hitting the league info on the upper right will show the player which league they are on and how many fiend souls are needed to unlock the next league, along with the additional awards that the next league will grant the player. That's pretty cool. We'll have to explore that more. Once they've finished gateway levels for a league and collected enough fiend souls, they may hit the unlock button and proceed to a new league. So the deck builder. Upon hitting battle or tournament, you'll have a preset amount of time to go through and actually build out which towers you want to have available, which spells you want to have available, and which hero, if in the case that there's more than one hero, for this set of waves that are coming in, right, for this level. First step, the player will be able to build their battle deck using defense NFTs. So can sort the NFTs by level, rarity, mana cost, and alphabetical. Tapping an NFT selects it and shows its full stats. Yeah, so all that stuff was really intuitive. Free defense is level 0. So as a means of learning the game for free, players in League 1 will be given several level 0 non-NFT default defenses as they play through the early levels. If the player does not own the NFT for a suggested tower, then the level 0 will be preloaded in the tower and spell slots. Note that defenses do not count for any reward earnings and cannot be used in tournaments. So similar to Splinterlands, where you can use them, but they don't earn you anything. Battle detail, all modes. So you got minimap. The player may tap on the thumbnail of the map, and then fiend info and icon show. Okay, so let's go to the battle rules tournaments. So this is similar to the rule sets that we have in Splinterlands, and there's a multitude of rule sets in Splinterlands. There's clearly not that many here, at least as of now, but hopefully that will change over time. I'm not going to go through all these right now. I think a lot of them are relatively straightforward, right? So Ever Armor, the physical resistance for all fiends goes up, and keep in mind there's physical damage and magical damage, right? So Magic Dispeller, the magic resistance goes up for each of the fiends. Immobilization, a slowdown resistance goes up. There's a lot of spells that will slow down or stun. Mana stinginess means that there's less mana earned every time you kill a fiend. Better ability interval goes faster per wave. Stronger damage for melee combat. Higher HP per wave. Extra speed for all fiends. God, that sounds like it sucks. Faster spawn time for all fiends. More spawn amount for all fiends. Tower Destroyer. This is the interesting one that I think they talked about on the town hall, right? Randomly pick one of the towers on the map and destroy it each wave. No refund. So you're just losing stuff every wave, which kind of sucks and makes the game maybe more interesting, but definitely very frustrating. And then Spell Freezer, randomly pick a spell and lock it for this wave. Okay, so energy, towers and spells must have energy to be playable. We covered that earlier. Energy regenerates at the fatigue rate, which differs per each defense. In the future, some limited energy per day may be purchasable for DEC, DECB, or credits. So keep that in mind. Locked NFTs. All NFTs do come locked. So if you... Let's say a player must unlock NFTs if they desire to sell them in the marketplace, but when opening a booster pack, NFT defenses are locked by default. Okay, main gameplay, you have your pre-wave setup and then the wave attacks. Pre-wave setup, you have your health, mana, start wave. All right, I don't want to go through all this just because a lot of this is going to be very intuitive as you go through it. You get to pick your towers, you get to pick your hero, you get to pick your spells. There's a fiend warning icon which will indicate where fiends will begin to enter the map. But again, all that stuff is relatively straightforward to any kind of tower defense you've played. All right, so battle, attack, and defend. The player can watch their battle unfold in real time, fast forward, or even skip it entirely. Keep in mind, these are all predetermined, right? So it's still auto-battler to a certain extent, but you can watch it play out in real time. And so they have a lot of these controls and things there. So win, post-wave, retreat, or continue. So when all fiends in an early wave are killed, then the player has achieved wave victory. A summary will show the results. Player has two choices. If it isn't the final wave, the player may retreat with winnings and keep any rewards earned. Or if they, die and lose, then it just goes to 0. So tournaments. To enter the enter tournament, hit the tournament button. You can play one each day. We'll cover that more in the future. Tournament rewards. So this is where I think things will be interesting because my understanding is SPS as of now is only given out in tournaments. And so you can see that these are very heavily skewed towards the highest leagues, right? So 39 or 40% almost is in the top league. And if you can make it there and participate in the tournaments, I mean, you'll be sitting pretty because I think they're giving out like 30,000 SPS or 33,000 SPS per day. Again, as a whole. Let's see, league, the leaderboard. So within a given league, the reward pot will be split as follows. The top 10 players will get a percentage, right? First place gets 16% of that 39%, which is kind of high if you think about it. And then further, top players will additionally get more of the pot prize. So, top 10% get 18%, get a split of 18 or 19% of the pot. The top 25% will get a piece of almost 10%, and the top 50 will split another 4.7%. So, depending on where you're at, where you finish, how good you are, how many times you play, right? It will all depend. But hopefully this will get people to play not just once, but maybe several or many times if they start to figure out and discover different strategies, right? Because you go through it once and you're like, oh, I could do better if I just changed one thing here. And then you're like, it's 2 DEC for a tournament ticket, right? Or, 4D or whatever it ends up being. And you start getting people trying to one-up each other, which adds utility for DEC or for credits, whatever it is, from all of that. And I think that has a lot of value. And at the end of the day, it's just about creating demand, right? Creating demand for an intrinsically entertaining experience. Sure, is all this stuff going to play into the tokenomics and all that? Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully demand for DEC will help us to get back to PEG and help us to start burning SPS for DEC and get SPS up. But, right now it's just, I think people just want to play, which that was how I felt earlier. I played for like an hour and a half without earning a single thing, I think. But, it is what it is. All right, so tournament play and scoring. Our battle rules will make each subsequent wave harder and harder. Don't worry, you can handle it. You will earn a score based on A, 1 point for each mana you earn by killing fiends. Tougher fiends are worth more. And then B, multiple points for each heart you have left at the end of each wave. So if you manage to get past all the waves of the first tournament level, you will enter an extreme bonus level where you can pick new defenses and play an entirely new level against fiends, racking up more points. So that's pretty cool. I played the tournament once. I used up my tournament ticket for the day, and I did horribly. So I didn't even make it past the first wave. It was awful. Additional loot. So at the end of tournament play, players may also randomly win loot drop rewards. So you can get potions, you can get packs, and you can get soul boxes. We don't know what is contained in that, but there's more information coming soon. And then you can see the drop rates for all of these here. I'm not going to get into that. I think at level 10, a 2% Nightmare Pack drop rate is pretty high. I don't know how many people we're going to have playing at level 10, but hopefully it should be something fun. And you get a lot of hardcore folks up there. All right, so game mechanics, deterministic play. To avoid cheating by bots or other potential hacks, the game will be fully server-side authoritative. That is, all gameplay calculations will be calculated on the server with the math behind all the movement, damage, etc. handled via server code and then expressed on the front end. So it looks like they're trying to avoid cheating by bots, not necessarily avoiding bots, but avoid cheating by bots. So fiend levels and fiend souls. Each league unlocks new types of fiends with fiend families such as ghosts, witches, minions, and shadowborn. Fiends from previous leagues may also appear, but in a leveled up state. All right, cool stuff. This is all part of the lore of the game. When a fiend is killed, a fiend soul token will be given out as a potential reward. The number of soul tokens will depend on the level of the fiend. All right, towers, you can place them, stats, upgrading. Again, all this stuff is relatively standard when it comes to tower defense. You can also sell them back, but you only get 50% of the refund. Spells, you can bring a limited number of spells into a battle. During setup, you can put them wherever it's appropriate to put them. If a spell is active at the bottom, has uses left, and the player has enough mana to spend on it, the player may tap the spell. Okay, so that's what it is. There's immediate spells that trigger upon tapping them. For example, Heartgiver can be dragged anywhere and immediately given to give the player more health. Cheapo can be used immediately to reduce the mana cost. You have area spells. You have summon spells. So summon spells summons allies or minions. These will only be playable on a path similar to a hero. And then buff spells, which will help a current tower. Spell triggering, so buff spells will enhance the core stats. Area spells will rain a slew of damaging items in a given radius, which you should be able to see when you put them on. And then summon spells will drop troops at the center of a chosen radius. Heroes, hero NFTs are units that can be placed and moved anywhere in battle. Keep in mind, you don't get to control it during the game because everything is deterministic. Right now, we only have that one hero, but that's where it's at. So that is the full amount here, or sorry, that is the full white paper. Like I said, there wasn't much in terms of like tokenomics. Again, my understanding, and let me, where's my phone here? I'll use the calculator on my phone because I'm curious now. I saw 33%. In fact, actually, let's go here to Soulkeep because now I'm curious on rewards. What is this? Okay, so I don't have any rewards to claim, at least not yet. But let's go to tournaments. I don't even know what my ranking is. But see the prize value. This is the total prize pool for all leagues for distribution. Okay, so check this out. Just to get an idea of what the winnings could look like for the top player, for example. Well, let's see. 33,321.6 times 30. Yeah, okay, so that's about 1 million. So this is about 1 million SPS per month, which is what's been allocated. So you get 33,000 SPS that's dropped per day, 33,321 times 0.008. So that's about $266 in value. That is not a lot of money that's being paid out by this game, but hopefully people will still be playing it just for the fun of it. So if we do it this way, let's go back now to the page here and sorry, this was not planned originally, but just to give you an idea, if you were the top player in the top league, you get that 33,321 times 0.3916, right? So that there's 13,000 SPS given out in the top league every day. And if you are first place, you will get at least 0.16 of that. So you'll get 2,000 SPS per day if you are first place, 2,087. But not just that, because keep in mind, you are also splitting these parts of the prize pool. You're going to get a share of the 18% here for top 10 players. You're going to get a share of the 9% here for top 25, and you'll get a share here of the top 50, right? So I mean, I don't know. That's pretty cool, especially if you can make it to the top. I mean, you're probably going to be pulling in several thousand SPS per day, which is not insignificant for where we're at right now and the player base that is here. I'm actually curious to see how many people are in the game. So this is just in League 1. There's 73 players, and I don't know if anybody's even made it into League 2 yet, which is kind of crazy. I don't know. We'll have to check in and see this in the future. So hopefully that white paper deep dive was helpful for you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I will catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.